So this right here is going to be a little rundown of the Illinois Shines program. So in the simplest way possible, on October 15th of 2021, Illinois passed the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, aka Senate Bill 2408. And what this has done is that it's renewed this incentive program for homeowners and business owners across the state, and it really lowers a lot of the barriers that were there prior of going solar. So the way it works is that you're paid up front for 15 years worth of electricity production. So more specifically, one SREC, I know it says RECs here, but with solar, it's called SREC, so Solar Renewable Energy Credit. One SREC, let's say it's $10. It's closer to $50 right now in Illinois for residential, but let's just say it's $10. The way it works is that they have a block. This block has a capacity. Once block A or block 1 has filled up, we move on to block 2. The difference between block 1 and block 2 is that the value of one SREC is lower. Some states work on a supply and demand model, so it fluctuates. You can buy an SREC today for $10 and tomorrow it could be $30, and the week after it could be $5. Obviously, it's not that, what's the word for it? It's not that volatile, but you get the idea. In Illinois, it's fixed. So there's none of that. It's a fact that the longer a person waits to go solar, and I mean, first you got to see if you qualify, but the longer a person waits to go solar, the less money they get for a same size system, more specifically for the same amount of SRECs if it moves into the next block. Cool? So this right here is the straight from Illinois Shine. So what this means is that, as you may or may not know, solar is a very highly regulated industry, just like, a real estate broker. There are things that the company or rep has to provide you with, and this is one of them. And I just thought I'd make this quick video, but these are all very important things to go over. Now, in terms of the best way to get your SREC, there are things to be wary of. For example, since the state of Illinois is giving you this up front, let's say, for example, I got $10,000 for 100,000 kilowatt hours. Now, let's say, hypothetically, my system goes down tomorrow in the first 15 years, right? Because that $10,000 I'm getting is within the scope of that 15 years of electricity production. My system goes down and my system is out for, let's say, 5 or 6 months, or the contractor goes out of business. It's my responsibility to get my panels working and get that electricity pumping, get that electricity going, so I can meet that $10,000 that they gave me up front. So it's really important that, due diligence. People don't know that. I don't know one person who has told me, yeah, I knew that. They're like, what? I didn't know that. And if you don't pay that amount back, let's say you underproduce, you don't pay that amount back, they're going to go after you. I don't know how, but they get their money back. So really important to note. very, very important note. In addition, there's a couple different ways of going solar. There's obviously the purchase option where you buy it, you get the SREC, you take all the tax credit, call it a day. Typically, this one has an upfront cost of either buying the system or taking out a loan. The other option is leasing. With leasing, the company takes the SREC and also the tax credit, and in turn, you get to do it for no upfront fee at all, and you can cut your bill in half right off the bat. Third is a power purchase agreement. Basically, it's the same thing as a lease, but a little different. I stay away from PPAs. It's a great option, I think, more on the commercial side, but for residential, I think that the two serious options to consider are buying it or leasing it. Now, and then with leasing it, there's other things to know as well, things to be cautious of, but for the most part, it's almost common sense to say this, but and the Illinois Shines, like, they could give you all this material and say going solar is a major decision, so exercise the same caution. They could tell you all these things, but they can't explicitly say, okay, don't go with this company, don't go with that company, which is why due diligence is important. And oftentimes the cheapest option is cheapest for a reason, right? So, I'm not advertising here, just sharing what I know. In addition, there's a thing called net metering. Net metering is the way you're compensated for the electricity that you send back into the grid, right? Because during the daytime, panels are up, they're producing fantastic. What happens at night? So during the daytime, typically you cover what you use inside your house, and you send the extra amount back into the grid. Now, at nighttime, when you pull electricity back, you get credited the same amount for when you were sending electricity into the grid. That's what we call one-to-one net metering. A lot of things now. Biggest thing is that this is something that you should read over, look, and most importantly, let's say you meet with a company, the company or the rep has to be providing you with this. If they don't, that's against the law. So just something to know. And if you guys have any questions, I pretty much know 92.5% of everything that there is to know about solar in Illinois. But if you have any questions, shoot me a message, and if I see it, I'll get around to it. All right, cool.